Sossegado. Só. Ok.
Acho que eu dei o grito de piranha. Hey,
Hello.
everyone.
Hi. Hello. Thank you for waiting. We were just making sure that people at home will listen properly.
Yeah,
I think you all listen well to us, hopefully.
the
If you
silence.
Yes. Now I got the feeling of the silence. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for being here with us for the first meetup of Into Design System Lisbon. SEAL has been organizing meetups across Europe and also to the States. And eventually we are doing the first one here in Portugal with you. So thank you
I know.
for joining us. Yay.
And yeah, this is Raquel, okay? UX lead designer in design system at Nokia.
Yes.
Your
So
presenter.
yeah, so I've been working with design systems for a while. I didn't like started already with design systems, but eventually I always into design operations topics, even without giving the name, like helping to organize files and improving process and everything. And then eventually, slowly, I get the chance to be more focused on design system. And luckily now I'm doing the Nokia design system at Nokia. Of course, it was being okay, yeah. And yeah, it's been really fun. I have a great team, and it's a large company, so you can imagine the challenge, but it still sounds like fun. Yeah, and besides Nokia, I also work like in Vorten. You probably know Portuguese, like it's our Portuguese Amazon, I think. Maybe it's humble to say that. And also at NOS, so a Portuguese telecommunication, then on fintech, and then eventually at VW, Volkswagen Digital Solutions, in the brand MAN Truck and Bus. People usually tend to say MAN, but it's MIN. And yeah, it was also fun on the reality of VW with design systems. And now I can pass to Nuno.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Nuno. At the moment, I'm a senior design system designer. That big name that they give to me. Okay. At Malwarebytes, that is a security company, cybersecurity company, working on the design system, or doing the design system. Let's see what we will do. And the last years, I was solving problems in Carlsberg design system, doing the design system of Carlsberg, and after that was the Vela Digital, so the design system. So my last years is dedicated to design system and all the problems that you can find. Okay, but yeah, and thank you all for being here, and let's go. Sorry, this one. This is our teaming that we are talking here, okay, about outsourcing into the fold, more collaboration to fix, to build, and to teach, more how we go to a company as another company to see how can they rearrange all the design system, how can we fix that problem and build and then evolve all the design systems that you can work in. Okay, again, okay. Our speakers, we have Filipe, we have Bruno, and we have Cátia. Okay, Filipe Nagarro and the other companies, Bruno Tangity, and Cátia at Bliss one. Always the wrong button. Okay, our agenda is all about the EDS. What is the Into Design System? Some of you know what is the Into Design System because you are following the conference, for example, and all the meetups that they doing and the workshops and the presentation from Nagarro. Okay, that is the home of Nagarro that where we are at the moment.
Thank you,
the
Nagarro.
speakers. And then we go a quick break, and on the end we go question and answer one. Okay. Now I pass to you.
Yes. Okay, so just a quick introduction, just to understand where this came from. So Seal basically founded this, and it started eventually with his own, but now, as you can see, is really across the whole world, not only Europe, but also the States, as you can see, is quite popular, and also here, actually, on Asia. So it's a big community, and it's really great that we have this. So thank you, Sil. And you can pass, please. Hopefully, the right one. Yeah. So Seal has this conference. So it's 3 days. it's online, so it's live. So eventually you need to be present to enjoy the conference. Although there are some tickets that you can see the recording later, so it's quite cool. And it's basically just dedicated to design system nerds eventually, or if you want to become a design system nerd. So there's a bunch of topics you can, and this is just a preview of experience. Sorry, can you, we just, yeah, some experience that eventually you can also share afterwards in case you participate. And yeah, this is a little bit of the feedback. And plot twist, you have a code in case you want to take a chance and you are indecisive. So here's a coupon that you can use. There's also a link on the Miro board, but in case you missed this one, so there's 2 coupons. So you won't miss, hopefully, the code. So feel free eventually to dig in on the code. And then eventually some topics that you can work on this conference. So you will learn a lot from design tokens, Figma variables, theming, accessibility, and governance. So we have more than 20 hours of content. You get the certificate, which is really cool. You will have slides and templates, a job board, and then eventually you do a lot of networking. This is some of the sessions that we have already confirmed. So Nathan, so it's like a very guru at the area. Then Justin, and then Philip. So just this is just a preview. There are more information on the website, and eventually I think you will be quite satisfied.
Yeah. And now we think to pass to Hugo.
Yes.
What is Hugo?
Yeah,
fix it.
Go for it.
Let me change it presentation.
Okay, good. So first of all, I will not bother you with these presentation. Just a couple of minutes, okay? So first of all, I want to thank you to Nuno and Raquel for the opportunity, and Sil to give the opportunity to Nagarro to host these events. So it's great for us to have these kind of events here at Nagarro, even because we have many designers in Portugal. So this is great for us. So thank you so much for coming. First of all, I will share with you just a quick demo reel, and I believe it will tell you a bit about what the projects or type of projects that we work on. So let me play that video. Good. So these are some of the projects that we work, or the team also here in Portugal have been working for the last couple of years. And I believe you don't know what is Nagarro, right? Or many people, they don't know. So I will tell you a bit about what is Nagarro. So Nagarro is a digital product engineering company. In Portugal, is here like since 2023, but is a company that was founded in Silicon Valley in 1996. So we build products, we build experience, we also build digital solutions for all our clients. We are more than 18,000 people, around like 38 countries. We are also listed on the Frankfurt stock exchange, and yeah, as you can see, so we have like more than 1,000 customers. Even like many of our projects is with the current clients that we have, so that shows also that we have like a good reputation with the clients, with our clients. So we basically partner and support like some of the world's largest companies in their transformation journey. Even is also help like some of them launch their products, or even like some modernization of the existing systems that they have, and at the same time like run enterprise platforms, even like giving support 24/7 for some of them. So these are some of the companies that we work on. So Nagarro has like 23 business units focused on the many different industries, as you can see. So from automotive to travel and logistics to retail and many other like BFSI financial services. So we work with clients like BMW, Lufthansa, and many other. And these are some of the service, or not all, I believe some of the services that we do, like from AI to business or big data, even like business intelligence, consultancy from product or UX UI design, to many other like data science, DevOps, cloud, etc. So as I said in the beginning, for sure you don't know Nagarro, but you may have like used some of the products that we have developed. So we have like built these flighting plan software for one of the biggest airlines, European airlines. So at this moment, all the airplanes in the air for this airline is using our software. At the same time, so if you went to the United States and you saw like the State of Liberty or the White House, so the software that managed all the lightnings was built by Nagarro. If you went to like an hotel and use like your phone or your card to open like the door, for sure that the software that is behind that solution was also built by Nagarro. And many other projects or products that we help like improve the experience, like this one, like for SanDisk, as an example. But we also have been focusing on design systems. So for RMS, that is like a insurance company, we help build a solution for all their products. So we use a design system to build like a holistic experience for more than 8 products for different platforms, like for web, for mobile. And I also have a video that will explain a bit about like the work that we have done for these clients. Okay, so just a quick introduction about Nagarro. I told you that I will not bother you. So again, thank you so much, Nuno, Raquel, and Sil for the opportunity. Also, thank you all for coming to the event. So I hope you enjoy the talks with our speakers. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Let me change only the slide, please. And now we will have the Filipe. What is Filipe? I hope you enjoy the presentation. And we keep more design system with Filipe. Sorry. You can, yeah, this one.
So let's.
Let me.
Okay, it's working.
Sorry.
Lá para trás.
No, yeah.
Para trás. And this is also working like this?
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Okay.
It's streaming for you too.
All right.
Don't worry.
So, hello everyone. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to share this product. So this is a repository. I'm going to explain it a bit more in the next minutes. But first of all, thank you for this opportunity. And now,
Not all for you.
it's first bit of suspense.
Oh, no. No? Stop working. Nice.
Of course.
Of course. Nothing turned on. I know.
Okay.
Always work.
Okay, so back to here. So my name is Filipe. I'm a digital designer, and I'm here in. So this project is a team project. So it's a lot of people involved. I'm just the one that is here talking about it. Okay, so this is a really important part of it. Actually, there is another guy here that is part of this project. It's even back there. But going forward, so. Oh, okay. So I started working as a designer in 2012, and 1 year later I graduated, and I've done a bit of everything in terms of design. So just for you guys to know who I am and why I'm here presenting this stuff. So illustration, graphic design, branding, digital art, a bit of everything, and obviously UX, UI, and the way we call it nowadays, product design. Okay, so from 2014 until now, I had the opportunity to be part of the creation and management of 14 design systems. And again, this doesn't mean I created it all, okay? I was part of it. So some of them were led by me, some of them were created by me, but most of them, I just was like a piece of it, you know? So I just created some components, some guidelines. I was part of the team that was doing the management. So this is, again, a full teamwork. And talking a bit of my professional background. So I had the opportunity to be part of a lot of teams. These are just some of them. As you can see, right now I'm working at Nagarro. And it was mainly like advertising companies, consultancy companies, product companies. And as I was saying, right now I'm product design lead at Nagarro. And also I co-founded, like 2 years ago, I believe, the Triple F Design Assembly. And I'm going to explain the context. So me and this guy, Renato, he was supposed to be here talking about this, but he's giving design and AI classes right now. So that's why I'm here. And we co-founded this design assembly. Why? Because we, as most of designers, are always doing side projects, right? So we were always teaming up and assembling new people to our projects, to our initiatives, to our ideas. So that's why we call it design assembly. We give it a name, and now we are a team. So we have people all over the world. These 3 flags are the main places. Okay. Fun part about this is really hard to get everyone together in the same call. We also have a guy in Dubai. So imagine Dubai, US, Portugal, UK. So it's fun. So the people that are part of the design assembly have a lot of different expertise. So branding, advertising, graphic design. As you can see, a lot of stuff. And the good thing about this is that because we work in so different companies, we have like different expertise. We have worked with different clients with different industries. So there is a big list of industries. And I'm telling you guys about this because what I'm going to show you after the design system standards, what is a product that was built and can serve a lot of different industries. So how many of you here have been working with design systems for 2 years or less? Just for me to understand the crowd. Okay. A lot of you. Okay, nice. Because as I was saying, my first presence in the design system was like in 2014. So I believe it was one of the first design systems here in Portugal. So it's fun to see people that are starting now, because right now it's like a big thing, right? Back then it was completely weird to explain to a client what was a design system. But yeah, as I was about to say, so design is all about solving problems, and systems are one of the biggest tools to solve problems, right? And design systems, they are a big tool for it, so that's why we love it. So I'm going to talk about what is for us, the people that build the design system standards, what is for us the definition, the benefits, the solution, and some cases about design systems. So definition. For us, a design system is, and I'm saying for us because there is no one true, right? So this can be your true, but this is also our true. So a design system isn't only a collection of components you use randomly to build something, right? It has to have a structure and a meaning, but above all, it's a matter of culture and mindset. So we are talking about a teamwork, and if we don't have the right mindset or the right culture, it's impossible to manage a design system. It happened before for me to create a design system, and then because you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't work. So you also have this article on Medium, if you guys want to check. It's called A Practical Guide to Design System, and it helps you use our design system standards to create your own design system. And we also, I don't know if you guys know, but this guy here, does this have a pointer? Okay. Anyway, so this guy here, Bruno Ferreira, is a really well-known name in Portugal in terms of design systems. He made this huge book about it, and he also have this public list, this data table, and we had the pleasure to be part of it. This basically have a lot of resources for you guys to use if you are building a design system, right? And then the benefits. So one important thing to realize is that we shouldn't make design systems in every cases, right? So if we are talking about short time, tight lines, or if we don't need any kind of maintenance, or if we are just doing some kind of specific or exceptional product or project, or even if we are just experimenting some solutions, so it doesn't make sense to create a design system. But if we are talking about a wide variety of digital assets, many people involved in the team, high intensity of development cycles, and if our business or our client or our project is mainly digital, so maybe we should consider a design system. Then talking about the benefits, we like to believe that there are 6 main benefits for us. That's what we believe. That are the main benefits of a design system. So agility to scale, and this means that if we have like a big company, a big client, it's really hard to scale stuff. So if we have a design system, this is going to be much more easy. And then efficiency, because it will alleviate the strain on design resources to focus on more complex problems. This happens exactly the same with AI. So nowadays we use AI to be more efficient, to leave the complex exercises and problems for the AI, and the design system basically does the same thing. And then consistency, because if we are talking again about a big company, a big project, and we have like a lot of pieces being made at the same time, it's hard to have consistency. So back to my first design system. I was talking about ADP, so Energies from Portugal. And in 2013, 14, basically we had at Full Six, we had like 4 teams working at the same time for the same client. And what happens was we have like different designers creating different buttons, different headers, different everything. So we had no consistency. So that's why we started to search for how people were doing or dealing with this kind of problems out there. And then the source of truth, because a design system is a source of truth. Sometimes it's difficult to have like this one place where we have like everything that we want to make sure that is like the last content, right, about the project. So the design system is also that source of truth. And then what the client really likes to know, the increase of return of investment. So we know that after some time using a design system, we are going to make it faster, much more easier with less resources. So it's going to be like we are going to have a return on investment much bigger. And then learnings, because if we have, for example, a new joiner to the team, what happens? He needs to learn a lot about the company, about the project, about everything. So if we have a design system, we don't need to educate him. He can educate him by himself, right? By reading our documentation, our guidelines, our everything that is present in our design system. Pause. Faz muita diferença a voz do microfone. Esse microfone faz. So this chart over here on the right side, it's actually or was actually our first weapon to convince a client that they need or we're going to have would like to have a design system. So as you can see here and here, we have like it's not half, but we are talking about 31% faster with 18% relative improvement in quality, comparing time to market and costs, having a design system and not having a design system. So this is actually, it's what the client wants to know, right? And another great gun or tool to convince the client that, or not convince, but explain the client how would be in terms of timeline, so how to manage expectations. This was the magic chart that will help us explaining them why in the first months we were not going to have anything ready, right? Because it's hard to explain to the client, okay, so you are going to give us a lot of money to make this huge thing, but in the first month you are not going to see anything. So imagine, like, back then explaining this, it was the first one, at least that we know here in Portugal. So give us a lot of money, we're not going to deliver or give you any kind of like valuable output in the first month, but it's going to be valuable in the future. So this curve helped us a lot, explaining that after we pass through this point, it's going to be really faster. Okay, so this is what we want to focus on, and after this is going to be all efficiency. And then we have to be like, to complete the deadline, because if not, it will be a problem. And then that's when the solution was born. So what is the design system standards that I'm presenting to you guys? So basically it's a living guide, okay? It's kind of a repository. It was shaped over a decade of learning, okay? Collaboration, again, a lot of people, a lot of teams, a lot of projects. And it was built based on the experience of countless creators. It offers you guys a framework with the best practices, inventories, tokens, foundations, components, metrics, and a lot of stuff. It's the best thing in the world. I don't know. It's our work, okay? And we wanted to share it with the community. So this is the link. I'm going to share it again in the future. So how was it born? It was inspired, obviously, by atomic design. So I was saying that when we were working on the EDP design system for the first time, we had a lot of teams working for the same client at the same time. So we were lacking in consistency, we were lacking in a lot of stuff. And that's when we found this book. So the Brad Frost's book about atomic design. It was our kickstart. It was our inspiration. We added some layers on it, but it was like our proof of concept. It was like, okay, there is a solution. So we kind of added the other layer, and we organized this in ions, atoms, molecules, and organisms. And this image helps a bit more understanding it. So when we talk about ions, we are talking about the first thing. So textiles, colors, icons. Then atoms is like ions grouped. So we are going to have, for example, a button that has textiles, colors, and icons all grouped. And then the same thing for the molecules, groups of atoms, and same thing for organisms. So this logic helped us a lot building our components library. Then the process, because we can have a really beautiful design system and an amazing pack of components, but if we don't have a process, it doesn't work, right? So we always started by defining or setting up the foundations. And the foundations are basically where we give the identity to the design system. So where we put the logo, the colors, the textiles, and so on, the UI style guide. Then after that, we can start building our components, our models. And then we have this all together now stage. And we call it all together now stage because the specs is the moment where we put everyone together in the same room. So designers, project managers, and developers, and we decide the specifications for each component, for each piece of our design system, okay? Because the coder needs to give specifications on the code, and the designer needs to give some specifications on the design. So that's where when we have this synergy between all these teams. When after this stage, we can develop them, and then testing, okay? And the test. After the test, we can have 3 possible iterations. So if there is any kind of design needs, it goes back to the design. If it have any kind of specs needs, it goes back to the altogether now stage. And if it has some kind of development needs, it goes one stage back. And only after this passes through this testing, goes to the delivery point. Okay, então, so after the process, after we have built our design system, we end up understanding that what was happening was that there were a lot of people taking different decisions at the same time. So we understood that we needed like a governance. Nowadays it's pretty much obvious. Back then it wasn't. So we kind of identified this major need of having two guardians. Okay, so a guardian for designer and a guardian for code. So if we have these two guardians, they are the responsibles for overseeing all and validating all the documentation, development, and synergies. If we don't have these guardians, again, a lot of people at the same line taking in a lot of different decisions, and it's going to be a big mess. So have two guardians at least, and we don't have a mess. Then a short timeline. So 2014, as I was saying, our first design system, okay? It was released 1 year and something later. Then 2017, we called it, or we defined that this will be a product that we were gonna use to develop more design systems, and we call it Laguda Yes Master. Then 2022, we renamed it, we upgraded it, and last year, it was the first time when we realized, okay, let's make it public, because it helped us so much. It's so many products, okay, all over during all these, I don't know how many years, that we decided to put it as a public repository so everyone can use it. So these are some of the brands that for whom we developed design systems based on this standard. So I heard you talking about Vorten, yeah. So maybe you are aware of this. And what will you find in this repository? So we basically divided this in these 5 areas. We just reorganized it all. So basically, it's a bit different right now, and in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be updated even more. And we are always putting their stuff. Again, this is a lot of people working there when we have free time. So going back to the organization. 5 areas to get started, where you find the purpose, the goals, the how to navigate in the documentation. Then define, so principles, values, and philosophy. Then foundations, so all documentation regarding the elements that form the basis for all components and patterns. Then components, all kind of documentation that you will need to create your own UI components library and guidelines and so on and so forth. And then evaluation, so metrics and methods to measure the effectiveness of your design system. So this is the layout. Right now, again, this is a bit different, but this is how it's supposed to be in the next 2 weeks. Here is the navigation. So it's a zero-height platform. You may know what it is. And fun part, so if you go to the help center, you will find this ChatGPT trained based on our standards documentation and other documentations, and it will help you. We will help you guys finding stuff in the process of creating a design system. So I made a GIF that is really slow, which will make us. Sure. Yeah. It was a really basic question. It was just to exemplify what we can do. And again, it's not a big thing. It's just something that may be really helpful. We use it, it helps us, so it might help you guys. And it will give you an idea of the structure based on the documentation that we have. Next time, let's fast forward the GIF. Okay, no cases, because this is everything I just said is really beautiful, but we need proofs, right, to understand if this makes sense or not. So first case that I bring you is exactly Vorten. So these standards were used to develop the interface e-commerce for Vorten design system. These are the visuals. This was the landing page. So you will land here, you will have the foundations, components, and models, style guides, and then the good part, the part that the client really like to hear, right? So we are talking about 400,000 visits daily, okay? Increase the number of products available to approximately 100,000 million products, and 12% higher conversion rate than the previous website. So this is the good part about having this system ready and working. Then Joaquim Chaves showed, for the ones who don't know, it's one of the biggest healthcare chains, hospitals, and private clinics in Portugal. And again, some visuals, also based on these standards. And then this was the landing page. Okay, and this is also the good part. So in yellow, we have two assets that are already live, okay, and we're based on the same system. And the other ones in gray are products that are being developed right now. I don't know actually if they are developed already, but they were being developed. So we are talking about a lot of products that were born from the same design system. And again, numbers. So we just set up the basic foundations. And for the second website, we just needed to add 8 more icons because it was already made from the first one. So with 23 components, we could make 2 websites and the other ones, because in the second one, there was no need to adding new components. And models, with the first one, we just had it all. And for the second one, there was no need to develop new models. So 80 plus 30 page with just this work. Then Continent. So one of the biggest general retail brands in Portugal. This was actually one project I had the pleasure to be since the beginning, creating and leading. Some visuals, the landing page, style guides, and again, so this was the first site, the feed website. Then right after that, the labs website, the kitchens, the org, and then we have 3 more being developed, all from the same design system. And everything from the design standards. Again, numbers. So we are talking about 230 pages plus 50 pages from the same amount of components. And then McDonald's, I don't know if you know this brand, probably not. It was designed by the guy with a hat back there. Visuals and numbers. So a lot of pages. McDonald's is the kind of client that so is always like every month creating a new landing page, a new website, a new product, a new campaign. So yeah. And this is it. So these are the cases I brought you. This is the link. You guys are welcome to go check it, to give feedback, to tell us if this is a useful tool, what tool you would like to see there. We have a book a call button, or you can just reach out to us through social media, and that's it.
Thank you, Filipe. So let's continue. I know that you hear a lot of pains and you can identify some problems here. Okay, but let's begin. Now it's Bruno. Let's go. Let me change this a little bit. Okay. Don't forget the mic. The pointers. Don't do like me.
Okay, so hello everyone, thank you for being here. So today I'm talking about how to migrate the design system to Figma that I named Lessons from the Trenches. So why Lessons from the Trenches? Well, this presentation is based on a real case of migrating a design system from Sketch to Figma. I'm trying to show you some insights, challenges, and best practices that came from hands-on experience. The goal of the presentation is trying to provide the real actionable steps and lessons to learn to make your transition smoother. So, who am I? I'm Bruno. Currently, I'm a product designer at Tangity. For the past 3 years, I'm in a banking sector client. Previously, I was a graphic and motion designer, also a 3D modeler for cosmetic brands. So, what are you talking about? I divided the presentation in 3. Why migrate to Figma? I'll show you some benefits of moving like Sketch to Figma. I'll show you 8 steps to migrate the design system. Why 8? Sounds good. Also, I'm showing some pain points and how you can avoid them. So, why migrate to Figma? Well, Figma is not just a tool. It's a tool that can change the way we work. So, you can have real-time collaboration and built-in prototypes. You don't need third-party tools like when we used to work in Sketch. We had to use InVision to prototype and inspect modes. You also have the dev modes, and the cherry on top of the cake is it runs in the browser. So now 8 steps to migrate to Figma. So these are the steps. First one, convince the stakeholders, define a strategy, audit the design system, tokens and naming conventions. Accessibility from day one, structure components, make it responsive and interactive components. So first step, convince stakeholders. This can be the hardest step. First of all, you need to schedule a meeting with them and you go and say, it's time to move on. What can we do? Well, they look like this to you. So you can, when you say like, I want to migrate our design system to Figma, you might hear like, what's wrong with our design system? It's expensive. Can we even do it? It will take too much time. So what can you do? You have to make a case. So these stakeholders are people who understand numbers. So talk about ROI. So you have to make them see that the cost on licensing tools will be reduced. Like instead of paying a license to Sketch and to Envision, you have to pay just for Figma. Collaboration. Well, will eliminate versioning issues. You can update your design system and everyone will have access immediately. In Sketch, for example, when you change a button, you have to save it, send to all designers. Well, it's a big pain point. Handoff will improve the handoff to developers. This means that developers can access to your file and check, inspect the codes, copy the code, link it to VS Code, can do everything. Successful case studies. So you can show them also some case studies from big companies that already migrated and everything went well. So the yes may not come right away, but will come, and then boom, you nailed it. So what's next? You want this battle? Let's celebrate. Well, not yet. Not yet. Sorry. So let's see the next step. We need to define a strategy. So you cannot migrate everything at once. It's like moving to a new house. You cannot grab all the boxes and just go. You have to prioritize. So you need to see what to keep, what to toss away, and what to operate. So how can we do that? We have to create a timeline. So this timeline needs to have phases of migration, such auditing, rebuilding, and testing. And remember, this timeline is not just for designers, it's also for stakeholders, because they are investing their money and they need to track what we are doing right now. Next step, prioritization criteria. So this step, we need to identify which components are the most critical and should be migrated first based on usage, complexity, and dependencies. Step 3, auditing design system. So this step might be a little bit boring, but is essential, is like a core. First of all, you need to create a checklist of the components. If you don't want to create by yourself, you can go to designsystemchecklist.com and just copy it or use it in the website. After that, you have to take inventory of the components. You have to create a spreadsheet with all of the components and well, defining what's commonly used, what's barely touched. Sorry. After that, still on the spreadsheet, we need to identify inconsistencies and redundancies. So we need to find duplicate and slight different versions. Like in the example, you have the same button, but the border radius is different. And then we need to check inside the spaces, colors, typography, and after that, we need to see what to merge, modify, or remove. And last, evaluate documentation gaps. So you need to review the existing documentation, identify missing or outdated information. Tokens and naming conventions. So in this step, you can see here what Jean-Anne said. It's with design tokens, you can capture low-level values and then use them to create styles for your product or app. You can maintain a scalable and consistent visual system for UI development. It's a great insight. So tokens and naming conventions. So first of all, we need to choose your poison. You have a great tool that it's a Token Studio plugin and you have Figma variables. You have to choose one. In our case, we chose Figma variables. just because it's a Figma native and will provide a seamless experience within Figma. After that, you need to start creating your tokens. If you don't know how to name it, you can check Marta Quant's tokens glossary. It's a repository of naming conventions that you can copy it. So after that, you start by creating your primitive tokens. This is the fundamental building blocks like color, spacing, and typography. It's like a raw material. After that, you have to give purpose to your colors, by the way. So instead just calling gray 100, you define it like background secondary. This gives purpose and meaning to your tokens. Step 5, accessibility from day one. I'll show you some examples. There are much more. So you can check color and contrast. You have Stark plugin. It's amazing. To ensure sufficient contrast readability, you can use Figma contrast checker like Stark, as I said, to meet WCAG guidelines. You have to avoid relying just on color, like in the example. You might use icons, labels, and patterns in addition to color convey meaning. Sorry. Typography and readability. So use clear, legible fonts to avoid very small text. Line height and letter spacing should enhance readability. So as you can see, the first one it's too squish. So next, scalable and responsive components. So you have to ensure that components adapt well to different screen sizes and zoom levels. This means that all your components, all your cards needs to be adapted to your screen size and the zoom. If you use auto layout, it will be amazing. Step 6, structure components. So the best approach is using Brad Frost atomic design methodology to build a structured and scalable system. As you can see, you have design tokens, atoms, molecules, organisms, and so on. So what can you do? You create core components. Think like building a Lego house. We don't just grab everything and mount it. You have to bring brick by brick and stack them together until you get to the final process. Defining variants properties for scalability. So variant properties are a game changer. By structuring components effectively, you can streamline flows, create more consistency, and you can use nested components instead of creating similar components. This means that you have an approach more modular. And also this will reduce the time of creating new variations. Make it responsive. So how can we make it responsive? Well, if you are using Figma variables, you can create a new collection, like name it breakpoints. You can have screen sizes, grids, text styles, text sizes. And then if you create new modes like XS, as small, or you can just name it mobile, tablets, and desktop, you can do like everything makes more responsive. Text and grids, for example, as you can see, you have mobile, tablets, and desktop. In the example, you have screen size, the different screen sizes, but even the title and the body text are the same, but they just adapt in sizes to every screen. Auto layout is about the same. Here you can see the same card. It's 5 cards, and in the first one, mobile, you can only see 1 card, but in the desktop you can see the 5. So last but not least, interactive components. So creating micro interactions within the design system. Well, micro interactions add life to your design system by enhancing user feedback, such hover effects, button animations. So what this means is, if you create this kind of animations inside your design system, you don't have the effort on every flow, every page you create to redo this work ever, and so on. So If you do that, you have to define the best practices for component interactivity. So in this case, you have to establish consistent guidelines for how components behave interactively, ensuring a smooth and predictable and intuitive experience. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So we've checked the 8 steps. So pain points and how to avoid them. So some of the pain points is you cannot migrate everything at once. It's not possible, it's not viable. So you have to migrate step by step, brick by brick. You cannot ignore documentations because ignoring documentation slows down the adoption. You have to include always components usage guidelines, naming conventions, interaction rules from the start. Also, poor naming conventions create chaos. So imagine using in the card a frame 2345521. Well, this is not a credit card number. It's just a frame. You have to give him purpose and the real name. So key takeaways. What can we take from all this presentation? Well, migration takes time, but planning makes it smoother. Design tokens and structured components are the key. You need to train teams early to ease the transition, maintain documentation and governance, and in case of doubt, follow the best examples. For example, Martha Kuntz or Brad Frost, and so many others. So, thank you very much. Sorry for the never reading. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Bruno, for the sharing. And now, last but not least, we have Cátia. So let me just
Something here to be with me. I will explain that.
for emotional support.
Exactly.
Okay, so share. Oh my God, sorry. So
And maybe in the future you can do a meetup only for tokens, no?
yes,
Only
yes,
for
yes,
tokens.
yes,
Only.
yes. Okay, I
I
think
never
you're
use this, so let's see how this works.
yes, and
Oh, this is lovely.
there you go. Now you were.
I
Everyone
feel
can
more
hear you.
professional now.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for all for being here and for the invitation. I'm the last one, and then after we go to the break, so I promise I'm not taking too long of your time.
It's the other one.
Ah, that's the Lego. So I'm Cátia Neves. I'm senior product designer at Bliss. I'm working at Bliss for around 3 years, I think. I'm more specialized in design systems. Then I live in Brighton for 7 years. There I had the opportunity to work with Lego with their internal design system. So that's why Lego is here. It was like my first big design system project. So I'm a mom of 2. One is still in the oven, so I'm not fat. He's actually a baby. Okay. And I love design systems. So that's why you are here, isn't it? So my talk will be about Beyond the Mess, searching Figma for scalable design systems. You're gonna hear a lot of the things that my colleagues already said. So try to ignore them and listen to me now, okay? At least we think a design system is a set of standards to manage design at scalable and reducing the redundancy while creating a shared language and visual consistency across different pages and challenge. With this, we want to, all of our people that work at Bliss can jump in between different projects because we have a system there that works. Let's talk about why Figma organization matters in design systems. So, a messy Figma file is equal to confusion, inefficient, and lack of adoption. Who had this problem already? Yeah, all of us had. Let's work around that, we can have a well-structured system that will help us with the scalability and clarity and easy of use of our design system. With this, we talk about, and now we will show you 3 stats from different sources. One of them is 40% of reduction in redundant work when Figma files are well structured. So let's keep our Figma files well structured so we can make sure this percentage will increase. Fewer design-related bugs when teams follow a documented design system. So we know if we have a documented design system so well structured, we will increase this percentage. And 30% fast design to developer cycles with our development team. If we have our development team working with us, and if you have everything well structured from documentation, from our components, this will help them in the future when start building, not coming back so many times back and forth with us. What is our goal? Is to create a system that's easy to navigate, update, and scale. We have here a quote from Andrew Caldwell that says, design systems brings order and consistency to digital products. They help to protect the brand, elevate the user experience, and increase the speed and efficiency of how we design and build products. This is what all we want, isn't it? We want a design system that is consistent to be able to use it for all the digital products for our clients. Next thing, our Figma structure approach. At Bliss, we try to figure out what is the best way for us to structure files for our different products and clients to make sure the teams are aligned and everyone will know where is everything when they need to jump from project to project. So we decided to divide into different projects. We have our client template and we have our project utilities, which will aggregate, thank you, all the base components, the handoff and accessibility, small things like the notes will have onboardings, thumbnails, because we want the design system to look nice and we want consistent and we want all the headers and footer look the same. So this is how we will work. Then we have the client template, which will have foundations, components, assets, patterns, design visual, and off, documentation, and archive. Let's save everything we have done. We never know if we need to come back. And a look and feel concept if needed for the client. Right now, I will talk about only with 7 key sections from the client template. The most important ones, I will say. Foundations, assets, components, patterns, design visual, documentation and guidelines, and handoff. I will use a case study from one of our clients. So I will use Shredder. Just so you know, Shredder is a lighting company. They come back to Bliss and ask for us to help them create that design system to use it across different products. So we are here to that. We help them. You can see still in progress. It's not finished. So foundations. Foundations are the core of a scalable design system. We have color systems, typography, dimensions, effects and shadows. Where do we spend more time? Color systems. We want them to pass an accessibility. We want the contrasts be perfect. So we divide this in 2 sections, color primitives and color systems. The color systems will aggregate everything from the palette from 0 to 900. That's depending on what we choose for the client. And the color system will have the color combinations we will use on our components. That's the only ones the designers will see on the components files. Best practice. Let's use local variables to make your file organized for all of your team. Assets. Why the assets matter? Efficiency. All the designers and developers know exactly where is the font family, where is the icon set. Consistency. We make sure we are using the icons from the same library and not icons from other libraries. And scalability. We can go to the icon set, add more icons if needed, but the visual will be the same because it's the same icon set. And how do we structure components in Figma? Components is the key. Without them, we are not doing any final products. So again, atomic design, all of us talk about atomic design. We know it's important. Variants for scalability, let's use it because it will be easy for us to use the proper component. Auto layouts for different sizes of screens. Let's make sure when you do a component, it's properly ready for it. If I need to use for a mobile, desktop, tablet. Interactive states. We normally, when we do every component, we do the different states from default, over, pressed, focus, and disable. In all of them, that's our methodology to do all these different interactive states. And let's apply the tokens we have done on our foundations before. Here it is, atomic design. The same logic. I bring here my giraffe. So we can think about the giraffe as 3 pieces. Atom, then I have my molecule, and then I put a head, and I have my organism. Why not? We'll talk about the next ones, templates and pages in the front. Next, patterns. Patterns are reusable solutions for the designers. So we want to create some, for specific context, these patterns. If I know that I will have a table with filters and I will use this pattern for more than one product, I create it so I can maintain consistency to it. And let's remember, patterns, components, everything needs to keep updating. As I used to say, a design system is not written in a rock. It's so much better in Portuguese. I don't know why, but so much better in Portuguese than in English. So it needs to keep consistent, it needs to update. We need to look at the trends, we need to listen to our users. And if this doesn't work for them, we go back and update. That's life. And again, no, it is on my side. It doesn't look. Now we have a template. So let's imagine my little giraffe is here with a tree. I didn't have a tree in a Lego. So try imagine a tree, okay? It's my template. My giraffe and my tree, it's my template. Then I'll start designing the product for my client. Best practice. Brand consistency. This will help because we have done the patterns, we have done the components, we have done the foundations, and we will use it and we start putting together all the pieces. You'll be like, nice, this looks really nice. This is always my feeling, right? User experience, this will help the user because you will jump in from different products from their client. You will know that's the part of the same client. And scalability. As I don't remember the name of the first speaker, Filipe said, he used on continent one design system for different products. So scalability. Again, pages. Let's kind back to my giraffe again, okay? Giraffe, tree, and now the giraffe and the tree are in a jungle with a dinosaur, not a dinosaur, but an elephant or something. Nada. We create our page, okay? Documentation and guidelines. A design system can be really, really good, but if it doesn't have documentation, is it good? What do you guys think? No, we need documentation. We need guidelines for designers, developers, product managers, product owners. This documentation needs to serve everyone, not only designers and developers. Every team needs to come back here, read and understand, why do I use the button? What is the do's and don'ts? Developer notes. That's why we at Bliss, we write this documentation with the help with the UX writer. So you can make sure this documentation is so well written that not only designers and developers will understand what is there and don't need to ask us, yeah, I didn't know, it's there, read again, you will understand. Hand off. After we finish everything, we need to pass the designs to the developer team. At Bliss, we create a Bliss and off file where we have all the pages with all the component specs. What is the component? What is the token? All the annotations, all accessibility annotations, all dev notes. And we actually have a preview in Figma community. So go there, check it out. And if you need anything, you can get in touch and we can help you with it. Common challenge and solutions. I think all of us been through this. Let's check it. Disorganized Figma files. At the beginning, everyone said, yes, yes. How do we solve it? Let's clear naming conventions and structure the page. If you make sure layers are right, are named correctly, the pages are named correctly, everything will be so easy. We'll be happy to get into a file that is not disorganized and it's clean. We'll give you like a fresh. Teams not using the system. When someone be like, oh, I create this component here. Why? I have it in my design system. I haven't seen it. Have you checked it? How can we solve this? Training and documentation. And not only train designers, not only train developers, train everyone. Even if it's a person that only see this 1 or 2 times. He needs to know. Because if he doesn't know, we'll keep asking, why my button doesn't do this? Because it's a don't. I told you it's on the documentation that I don't want the button to do that. So let's train and document it, everything. Too many overrides. All of us has been there. Detach, detach, detach. I still do it, okay? I still do it when I need to rush up. But how can we change it? Have a well-structured foundation and components will help. Because I have everything I want. I don't need to detach a component because the designer that did that component thought about it and know exactly they will need this. I'll put it there. Some key takeaways from all of this talk. Having a solid Figma setups make designing super easy. So let's set up easily. Don't take rush to set up a Figma file. It needs time. If it takes 2, 3, 4 days, doesn't matter. To make sure your life will be easier in the future. Oh. Atomic design invariants create scalable components for reuse and customization. If you make sure we use the atomic design logic, we use variant and the component, the customization will be quick. If the client, I had this problem, we did everything, and the client decided, I don't want my primary color to be black now. I want to be blue. It's okay, no problem. I go to my foundation, change it, done. It was a 5-minute job. And you be like, hey, that's why you do this. And documentation ensures adoption consistent. As we said, let's document everything so well, so we don't have problems in the future. Everyone will know what we're talking about. The consistent will look at. We as end users will see that consistent throughout the products. Thank you.
Thank you, Cátia. And now we go to a break just to know each other, talk, conversation. Then we come back, okay, and go to a Q&A questions and just talk, okay? Have a nice break.
Já dei pelo menos uma pergunta. Não, senhor. A sério? Acho que sou a ver se a gente tem perguntinhas. Espero.
Viste o vídeo?
Eu estive lá um bocado e não estava seco.
Não.
Mas
Adoro.
acho que pode ser que a gente. Espera.
Bruno está ali, Cátia está aí.
Está ali em cima. Se calhar chamar um. Querem só juntar agora vou só buscar o fio. Agora vamos. Escadas. Não. A gente vai buscar. Okay, so thank you everyone for keeping us with us now. Now this is a time to put some questions if you have for our speakers or in general, anything. Does anyone would like to start?
Question?
I don't know if this question gonna sound a bit silly, but when you're starting create a design system for a huge company like Continental or whatever, is it okay to take a kind of design system for a business that is similar to this one and just to use the components and everything, just make quick changes, not quick but changes, or you redesign everything from zero, or is it okay to do something like that?
I think the right answer is we should never reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel is invented, so whatever we can do to make it more efficient, we should do it, you know. Even I believe it's like a lot of projects and designers and products even publish their design system so you can use it. And when they close the company, they publish their design system so you can use it. So I think this is a good answer because we should never like recreate the button just because there are a lot of buttons already created. So whatever you can do to that will take you less time, you should do it, you know. And I'm not saying like copy like everything, it's like reuse it wherever you can reuse. So yeah, don't be afraid of doing it.
No, because in graphic design, people usually take photos like from free peek in different business. You can see for photos from different business with the same photo. So it's something like that. Maybe sounds weird, or okay, and that's it.
I mean, in the matter of pictures, I believe even today you can even use like AI tools to create like completely new pictures. You can use a stock image has a reference and create a really similar one that is completely new. So I would say that for pictures, maybe try to use different ones and now create new ones with AI tools. But I mean, the rest, like the basis of the components, if it's like just a card or just a button, you can start with one that already exists and then upgrade it if it makes sense to upgrade.
Does anyone has a question that would like to expose?
Okay, so first of all, thank you all for your talks. So thank you. And I have a question regarding like AI. Okay, so I know that all that you talk here is very, very interesting, right? But also takes a lot of time to create these kind of things, right? So my question is like, to create these things or for your process at this moment, what are like the tools that can help us, AI tools that can help us with design systems? If you can, just like three of the, or three or one that you want like to mention.
I'm not the great person to
No?
talk to us to answer to this question because AI and me.
At least one that I've been using a lot is Ask ChatGPT for nomenclature of the tokens, for instance. Like start as a basis, and he helps me and gives emotional support on the nomenclature. Because sometimes you think like it's super makes sense, but then the chat goes like, "Oh, remember this situation, and he helps me a lot." So on that nomenclature, I also use it, and of course documentation. Like making documentation by scratch is painful. Like I wouldn't read it my own documentation. So ChatGPT is really great for that, or even double check. For instance, I have colleagues that really likes to do documentation, but sometimes for some reason it's not consistent. So we ask ChatGPT, look, take a look. Does this make sense? And he can give the suggestion like, look, this is not really aligned with this and that, blah blah blah. So maybe you should do this. So documentation for sure. And also on the other part, like maybe for roadmaps or stuff like that, it's also useful, like to help me plan the stuff and to organize. I don't know, maybe convert Excel to Jira for stuff for design system. I also use it a lot. Yeah, my yeah.
Relume for screens, I believe is Relume AI. And then like making icons, I've used a lot like Midjourney to create like icons and like 3D icons effect and so on. Images as well, and yeah, a lot ChatGPT for organization, for consulting, for yeah.
Yeah, I use it. But okay. Yeah, I can share one. When I was in Carlsbad, I tried to create a custom chat GPT to solve all the answers on, because all the designers and engineers work with me, and all the dev team start to annoying me with the questions. Okay, we have the communication, but where is this? And I thought, okay, I will create a custom GPT with all the information. Go to this link. Don't bore me. Okay, just to help me with these kind of things. Okay? But yeah. For example, okay, but yeah, it was a custom chat GPT. So, more questions?
Yeah, okay.
Hello. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, since many of you are employed, not only you, I am still a student, so and I'm interested in following this path. And I wanted to know, do you see that in the market right now there is any value for me to pursue a master's or pursue academia as a whole, or should I just go into the workforce and get some experience?
What's the talk? I'm not the best example because yeah, no. I start to study design in university, but I don't never finish. So
At least you finished.
yeah, I
You
never
never
finished. So I'm a senior now. I don't know. It works for me. I don't know.
Okay, but maybe
But
for the,
any other experience?
I can talk my experience. For me, I did the same. I took a master's in design editorial. See where I am now.
okay.
So I think it comes with experience. Without experience, we can learn a lot from school, but this is my personal opinion, okay? But experience working with clients, that's what it gives to you.
Okay.
School help you. Don't go out school, okay? We don't have any younger people here. But yeah, you wanna add anything?
I mean, I finished my studies in multimedia design, but what really taught me how to design was the real world. So I can say that the most part of what I took from the college was like the conceptual part, the culture, history, and stuff. Because in terms of practice, it was like life when I started working. So I think that's what you should do, or you can look for a more technical school, for example. That's also a good idea, I believe.
So, to answer your question, I don't think that if you take a master, you will be focused on a design system because it's a
Okay,
very
yeah.
niche.
For sure.
No, but it's because it's a very niche area. Like you have masters or interaction design, like bigger scopes. But design system is like a part of it. So even to companies have that specific role or have a location on it, at least in Portugal, is not that uh, uh, regular. And you might also have those opportunities for outsourcing because people that hire here. But doesn't mean that you cannot try. And there's like specific certification. So it's not a master, but it's a smaller certification dedicated to design system. And you have your 2 courses. So yeah, so there's out there. So maybe that could be a possibility. So that's basically try to see that the master might not result. And even because you're just starting, we all started in one point, and then
Okay.
the market is so dynamic that when I started, I haven't even knew that design system was a thing, and now I'm talking. And maybe in 10 years is something else that we are talking here again. That is not a design system, something else. So
A technical course that gathers like both design systems and product design and also AI. It's something that I didn't have in college, and nowadays you can have it. So you have schools such as Lisbon Digital School, for example, and some others, right? Yeah, yeah. You are both teachers there, but the thing is, you have courses that have both, so that's a good approach, I believe, and more practical, more like into the market than college or university.
My question is not really about design systems, but I'm curious to know how do you establish the amount of time to structure a project? You need to start from the scratch. You need to design a dashboard or a landing page.
that short to long term, it's more clear. I think it also helps if you put goals, like short to long term, so you can have a vision. Like let's say for this year, you want to do a design system by scratch. So you start to think until December, what do you want to accomplish until December? And then depending if you work on sprints or on in quarters of the year, you start to put small goals and then go deeper and deeper. And then eventually put a smaller goal on the sprint. Like this sprint, we're going to close tokens. This sprint, we're going to close colors of foundations and stuff like that. So I think it helps to see the long term and then go deeper on the smaller part. I think my 2 cents. Does anyone? Yeah.
So I think this is like a basic question, but do you guys think that every context or project needs a design system? If no, why is that? And if yes, how do you draw the line and say, okay, this is the criteria for me to create a design system for that project?
So I can give you an answer. From my point of view, it's no. Okay, we don't need a design system for everything. I think you talked about this. Yeah, we talked about. Yeah, we talked about that one. Yeah, we talked about that. But yeah, we don't need it because depends on the project, what you want to the project be in the future, what is the needs at that moment on the project. Depends, okay, on the product, whatever you need it. But like I say, you can use a design system that exists and reuse it. So for a small project not needed, or testing something not needed, or you can use an external design system to use it, you save time. And then, okay, in some companies, they start that with another design system, or not don't need a design system. Then they realize, okay, and now we are late. Let's redo the things and use a design system or do an internal design system. And because we are stuck here, our product cannot evolve more. Okay, so depends a lot, but no. Anyone with a yes?
I think if you can anticipate, like again, like in a year vision, let's say, if you can anticipate that more than 1, 2 big products will need to have that consistency and to reuse components, because sometimes, yeah, you can say, okay, maybe for now I'm just looking at the moment if I need it now, but if I can try to anticipate the business needs, see the projects they have along, and see, okay, eventually we're going to reuse code, because sometimes you reuse code and then you change the look and feel. That's also common stuff. So if you have that in your reality, you think, okay, maybe it's worth it. So I think is to try to anticipate in the future, so you avoid like, oh, we didn't do now because urgent deadlines, and then eventually we'll have that again because there's always urgent deadlines. And so if you can try to anticipate, I think that will help you to decide.
Hello. So I'm also a student, and I'm just curious, how is like the working in teams? Could you like share an experience that you had working in teams? I'm curious about how is it like working with developers and the shareholders? How is it? I get that to present the design system, you do a whole presentation, but what after? Is it a smooth process, or are like yeah?
It's not easy. It's not easy. So we have to be good to developers and so on, but sometimes it's not easy to end off the process. You need to do a lot of documentation and have many meetings with them to explain why you should use that color and that size, but it's not easy.
I think it's all about synergy. I think the best project I had was when I was really friend with the developer that was working with me, and we were like really doing that together. You know, so I was understanding him, why he was like, don't put that amount of icons, don't put that amount of colors, and I understood him, and he understood me. So it was like a really good synergy, and I think this is the most important thing, because it's really easy to be like, oh, this guy is not doing what I want, and you know, so it's really important to understand what he's doing, and what he understands what you're doing. So synergy, I think, is the most important thing. Yeah.
That's why the best projects work better when you work with the dev team from day one.
Yeah.
From the beginning, you will talk with them about everything. You'll say, don't do this, it's not easy. Why? Explain me why. You explain to him, okay, I can change it. So working with the dev team from day one, I think makes everything go smooth.
Yeah.
If he's not going that, you need to make sure the documentation is written correctly, your end off is perfect, so you hand that to another dev team and they will understand everything you want.
And sometimes don't have the afraid to talk with the dev team. Say, oh, I'm thinking that way. What do you think? How can we implement this? Okay. And they say, oh, for me it's the easy way, it's another way. Okay. And then you say, okay, for me it's the same thing or the same work. let's go with your way, for example. Okay, we have to be flexible on this one. And from my point of view, we have to work together, not the bubble design and the dev design, the dev bubble. Okay, work together. Yeah.
I also want to add, because on the design system specifically, besides working well with the team, you also need to work well with the people that you're going to serve the design system. So you always need to build those relationships and advocate all the time that is a good thing, use it well, this is the good stuff, work with us. Because if you don't have that culture and advocation, it's really hard and people gonna resist, and you kind of need people to use the design system. So in my opinion, when you're working on the design system, you have an extra work of doing this advocation role, going after the people, always convincing people that is a good idea, giving a lot of education, being a lot of present. So for instance, I always try to do like audits and meetings with the designers, so I'm aware what they're doing, what they're going to do next. So giving that relationship, because eventually organically they also going to try eventually bring needs later, like, oh Raquel, because we talk about this and that, I'm also struggling with this, can you share more here and that. So I think besides working well with the team, which is really a must have with devs as well, I think we also need to have an extra attention to the people that we serve, because we kind of depend on them to work well. Yeah. Okay, does anyone has? Yes. No, it's for the people at home to listen.
I was maybe just going to ask if we are convincing the stakeholders to provide the design system, the stakeholders of a big company. So can we estimate the number of people that are going to be involved in this? Because we have to explain the profit. And people involved are also kind of changing focus and losing profit in some other places. So they have to understand if they will lose the money or if they will get the money later. So it's about the number of people and maybe some cross teams. I don't know. Can we explain them how many people are going to be involved?
I can try because thank you. On my last 5 years, I think I passed to all scenarios that exist, because in one company we have a team of 1 people design system, 2 front ends dedicated to them. Okay, nice. And sometimes the designers can help with the tasks. The dev team grow because it's needed. That is the perfect environment that you can have. Then we go to another company and the things change. You are only the designer and you don't have any developer dedicated, okay? But you have someone that can do your work on sometimes. And it's difficult that you can try to justify the things, okay? This is a big pain on design system. We always have to justify the people that needs to work on that, okay? So we do, I don't know how many of you has to do some presentations with the val, with the ROI, with all these values, and the big point is how can they save money? Okay, this is the first thing that they start to listen to you. Okay, so we can estimate what is the perfect world for that team. Okay, we can, but we know that we don't have that one. For me, I talk with my experience. Okay, it's really difficult to have all the combined team to do it. Okay, in my experience. Okay, but we do all the work. Okay, for example, one project that I work again, only the only designer that it's me to do all the things. And
surprise, I think. At first that yes.
Okay, sorry. So thank you for all for coming. Okay, and again, thank you Nagarro over there. Someone, nobody there.
They are ready to
Hugo is leaving. No, I'm joking. Thank you for your house. Okay, let's try another talk, another one in the future. But for now, we have to see that we go to Porto. If you want to join to us, okay, you go to Blip. We are talking about how can a design system can go wrong or can turn on a shit. Okay, that is the real talk. Okay, that will be the talking. In the future, we will announce the speakers. For now, we only have the place, the date. It is 24 of April, and if you want to go, please come. Okay. And again, thank you for all, and I think it's all. No?
Yes. Yes.
And if everything goes right, eventually this will be recorded in case you miss
Something.
our voice or something. I don't know.
Will be published.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Oh God, we have a lot of things happening here now.
What is this? Ele fica gravado. Não, ele agora vai ficar a fazer.